So that way, anybody who looks at it could gauge the amount of tax that the county is charging. That's in addition to what Commissioner Baker McCormick may be asking for. Scott?
We could definitely do that. And we could say, we can expend things and say for each of the 5 items, or actually technically there are only 4 right now because at this moment the jail millage is expired. But for our 4 line items as authorized today, you know, the parks millage will cost $100,000 house, whatever, $20 a year. And the operating millage will cost $200 and so on and so forth. So we can kind of see where the carve up is. So I think that, yeah, definitely that would be very informational.
That could be, that would be very beneficial. The more you can break it down, the better.
Sure, absolutely.
you.
Yep, I'll integrate that into the future discussions.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, Commissioner Kinlock?
No.
I see your light is on.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Members, if your lights are on, I'm thinking that you want to speak. Commissioner Haddis? Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-147 decertifying revenue in the general fund and certifying revenue in the property tax forfeiture fund.
Thank you. Any discussion? Mr. Abbo, do you want to talk a little bit about this one?
Candidly, Commissioner, I have nothing to add to this
Okay.
unless there are
Thank you.
specific questions.
Item, please.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-167 reallocating expenditures in the building and ground maintenance fund.
Next item.
Item number 5, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-199 reallocating expenditures in the county health fund.
Any discussion on this item? Next item, please.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-157 reallocating expenditures in the county road fund.
Any discussion on item 7? Next item, please.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-190 reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Thank you. Any discussion on this one? Next item.
Item number 9, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-121 certifying revenue in the ARPA fund.
You?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm
Commissioner
sorry, I
Anderson?
missed on number 8.
Yes.
Did have a question on number 8.
Sure. No,
Uh,
Item 8.
Just to clarify, Mark, if you or someone finance could, or management budget could clarify, this looks like it's a state grant, isn't that? No, I'm sorry. Never mind. It's on the addenda. I'm sorry. The question I had. Never mind. I'll bring it up at that time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We were on item 9. Any questions on item 9?
I'm sorry, just a little bit of an explanation on number 9 for everyone.
We have our budget director with us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Drew Vandegrift, Wayne County Budget Director. It's very nice to see all of you. Thank you, Chairwoman. I'd like to take the first moment to introduce Jake Brower. He is the new Deputy Budget Director in Wayne County, and he's fantastic. He's been here for about a week and a half, and he's fitting in just fine. And you should see him work an Excel spreadsheet. So I just wanted to take a moment to recognize and thank Jake for joining our team.
Let me welcome you It's going to be a pleasure working with you, I'm sure.
It's good to be here. Thank you all.
With regard to agenda item 9, I would preface with a recognition that this is certification of funding for the ERAP program, which is a subsidiary of the ARPA program. There's a lot of acronyms here, but ERAP, I believe, stands for Emergency Rental Assistance Program. It's a concept I believe you are already quite familiar with. It's entirely possible that there's somebody from community development on the line that may be able to speak with greater precision to the program that this is funding. So I'll pause for a moment to see if that is true.
Do we have anyone on Zoom from Economic Development? Luz? Anyone? I have had the privilege of working with them recently on this. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program is still running. I was not sure that it was still up and running, but it still is. So if you know anyone who needs that, so this ties right into the budget adjustment for that.
You're absolutely right. This is critical work for some of our citizens in the greatest of need. The home ARP program is the specific use for this. And I hold in my hand a brief summary of the program, but I believe it would suffice for today's purposes to summarize that this would involve direct rental assistance for qualified residents that are in need of the benefits of this program.
And there are many
Unfortunately.
currently.
Yes, ma'am.
It's hard to find housing currently for people who are affordable, especially who are looking for rental units. Thank you very much. Commissioner Marecki.
I have a question. This money eventually, believe it or not, is going to run out. And then what are people going to do? Is there any, and I don't know, and I might just be talking to myself here. Is there any discussion about follow-up after this? Because this money's not going to be here forever. I mean, I wonder if they're helping people get jobs or in this program. And Drew, I don't know if you know this. I'm just spouting off here.
No, I appreciate that. And I think that should be recognized that there is a spectrum of needs in our community as a result of COVID-19 and secondary and tertiary effects of COVID-19. And, you know, the county has done an excellent job and continues to stand ready to meet those needs. But your question drew into focus the question of, well, what happens when ARPA's no longer available? And I hesitate to answer that question until we get there. Right now, we are in the process of utilizing these funds. There is an accelerated window to utilize these funds compared to other ARPA money. And I think that it's most important that we do the good work that the federal government has funded us for. But I don't want to say that we will continue or that we won't continue until we have a new budget. This certainly will be a future fiscal year that river will need to be forded. But my sense is that the administration stands ready to continue to meet citizens' needs, and the nuts and bolts of the financing for that activity is to be determined.
Thank you.
We're lucky actually to have this money currently, because normally our tax structure and our general fund normally would not be able to do these programs as we currently are doing. So it's going to be a challenge coming up.
You're
sure,
absolutely
when that
right.
happens.
Yes, Chairwoman, I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you. Any more questions on this one, Commissioner Scott and
Thank you,
Commissioner
Madam
Baker
Chair.
McCormick? Next.
Kind of hard of hearing here, but I want to know about how many people we have assisted with this program, the rental program. Do you have any idea?
I'll get that answer for you, Commissioner Scott. We don't have economic development online currently to answer that. Unless you have it. I don't think you have
No,
that
no, ma'am, I don't.
readily. Economic development,
Let me just say, I've been trying to reach economic development, but I haven't gotten an answer back from them.
how about if at the next meeting, we will have a presentation from them on that?
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was kind of the question I was going to ask. In addition to, is Wayne Metro administering this program or is this separate?
I'd be glad to review the materials that I do have with you, but I don't think that this is Wayne Metro.
There is a program person in charge, and I do have that name that I can forward to you.
Yeah, so I guess in the presentation that we get, if we can have all of the, contractual parties that are helping with this. Thank you.
Yes, I'd appreciate that also.
Thank you. Mr. Abel?
Thank you, Commissioner. Drew, we're asked the question often about status of ARPA. I know that we got $339 million. Would it be possible at some point in time, and when we are actually appropriating ARPA money, that we have some sort of a status report? Here's the totality of the grant. Here's what's been assigned. Here's what's been appropriated and what is left to be assigned or at least budgeted. Some determination of where we stand at any point in time, so we can move it from one column to the other, of unassigned to appropriated to unassigned, so that we can just visually understand the status of those ARPA monies, because we are, time flies. This money has to be appropriated by December 31st, 2024. It has to be spent by December 31st, 2026, just to make sure that we are dealing with it appropriately. Would you be able to provide some sort of an analysis that gives us that information?
Show program revenue to actual spend as certifications come through for specific projects. That makes a lot of sense, and we can create that.
Because I mean, we deal with it on a fiscal budget basis, but looking at just this program that encompasses the totality of the 4 years that we have to deal with it, I think would be appropriate.
Thank you for the request. We will do just that.
And there are some municipalities who already put in a request. I know Lincoln Park, Allen Park combined would like to do some sewer work, and they asked for a grant and they have not been responded to. So I would like to also have it included in that report, how many grants have been applied to by communities. And for
The
right,
applications,
the
Chairwoman?
applications.
Yes, ma'am.
Who applied and for how much and what purpose? Any other information you would like to know in that report, committee members?
We're
Commissioner
talking
Anderson?
about the status of each request and
The ARP,
the
yeah.
listing of the requests.
For
And
the ARPA money.
right, and recommendations, I guess, are coming later from the administration. And then I think commissioners all probably will have, so that might be coming later, but just Drew, if you just could make sure that we get a total update of where we stand right now, that's all. Thank you.
My intention to respond with a deliverable by our next meeting, although I do recognize that we are in the crunch of budget season. So would you forgive me if I took an extra week if I need it?
Please do the budget first.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
But since you have an assistant, I'm sure you can do both.
Jake is more than capable. I know that to be true. Is there anything else?
Do your best. Thank you very much. Any other questions on this item? Mr. Abel, are you all set?
I am, thank you. I had a comment on number 10.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 10, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-150, certifying revenue in the delinquent tax revolving 2019 fund.
Mr. Abel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. On this one, we had originally indicated that fiscal agency recommends approval on this. I would like to withdraw that and ask the committee to pass this for the day. I am uncertain about the use of that $11,200,000 for miscellaneous contractual services. They've indicated that the activity in the GTRF fund should be charged to this account and is not budgeted for in the budget. I don't understand that comment. And I would like additional time to further analyze exactly what the $11,200,000 will be used for before we recommend approval.
I move to pass it for the day.
11,200,000.
And like support.
The 200,000 or 300,000 commissioners for advertising. It's miscellaneous administrative services, which is 11,200,000.
Already, we have a motion to pass this for the day by Commissioner Anderson. Item 10, supported by Kinlock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll take the rest of the items together. Next item, please.
We are now moving to the addenda. Item 11, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-11, certifying revenue in the general fund.
Thank you. Any questions on item number 11? Commissioner Anderson?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is the one that I had meant when I was recognized earlier, meant to address. I just wanted to ask if there's someone from the administration that could just give us an update on or clarification. This appears to be a state grant, or not a state grant, but the personal property tax revenue that came in after we approved the budget and is being divvied up by those into those different funds. Is that correct?
Good afternoon again.
Wayne County Budget Director. Commissioner Anderson, you are correct. So you may recall a number of years ago, there was a legislative reform concerning personal property tax and the ability to levy against it in Michigan. And the short of it, at least as I understand it, is our ability to levy. So personal property tax typically means commercial personal property tax. It's never, you don't pay taxes on your personal property, but it was a significant or at least a quantifiable revenue source for industrial commercial property. And so in a bid to, I believe the notion was to ease the tax burden on businesses in Michigan. However, that left a deficit for taxing entities. And so there was a make whole for entities including Wayne County. And if my memory serves, there was a phase-in that may even be continuing as PPT ramps down and the make whole ramps up. And so there's a degree of movement with the PPT make whole, and that's what this revenue that is proposed to be certified today. That's what it is it's an additional $5.5 million from the state of Michigan. And that's why you will observe that portions are rooted to where there are property taxes in Michigan. So the parks have a millage, so they get a piece of this. The juvenile gets a piece of this, and so on. The balance for the operating is what you will observe going into non-departmental because of a number of budgetary needs that happily coincided with this revenue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Madam Chair, the Soldiers and Sailors Relief Fund, is there some issue with releasing those funds to the department? Do you know I guess I'm asking, do we know if there's any issues related to this pool of funds? Has there been?
Commissioner Baker McCormick, are you speaking to the proposed certification of revenue in this budget adjustment or a larger question?
A
about the
larger
fund?
question.
I am not aware of anything beyond a healthy balance in the Veterans Fund.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner
Just
Anderson?
to that point, Drew, my understanding and your explanation, I think, said that this was money going into that fund, not coming out of that fund, being transferred.
That's exactly right.
Just wanted to make sure. I think, I didn't know if my colleague had thought it was money coming out, but it's money going in from the personal property tax adjustment.
Thank you. For the public who's watching, we allocate and reassign the dollars. It's the departments that actually run the programs. So when the budget director doesn't have the answers immediately about the programs itself, it's because we have other people running the programs, but here we're making sure that the dollars are available for those programs. So I just wanted to make sure that the public received that information. Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 12, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35-165 certifying revenue in the county health fund.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item? Next item, please.
Item 13, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2022-35098, reallocating expenditures in the general fund and decertifying revenue in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Thank you. Any questions on this item? I see none.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
will move items 1 through 9 on the agenda, item 10 being passed for the day, and I will move items 11 and 13 on the agenda for approval.
Thank you. That motion was made by Commissioner Baydoun, supported by everyone. Commissioner Anderson? Oh, Commissioner Martha G. Scott? Record shows supported by Commissioner Martha G. Scott. It is difficult sometimes to hear from here, just like the chair of the former committee said the same thing, that it's sometimes hard to hear committee members. That's why when I see your lights on, I figure you want to speak. So thank you very much. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on this motion.
Commissioner Scott? Commissioner Baker McCormick? Commissioner Marecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Baydoun?
Yes.
Chair Varga?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next item.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I have none. Anything from members? I hear none. Next item.
Item G, public comments.
Anyone from the public here in the chamber wishing to make public comments? Please come to the podium. I see none. Anyone on Zoom or phone listening in or watching? Please state your name and begin speaking. Anyone from the public wishing to comment? I hear none. Do we have any emails?
No emails have been received.
Thank you. Next item.
Item H, adjournment.
So moved.
Moved and supported.